Why are parents not confident in their ability to teach their own children? My name is Jude. We're here with Limitless Education Group today, and that is the question that we're going to be looking at. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been working with a bunch of different families in our community, come from different backgrounds, different ranges, different ages, and the biggest theme that has been coming up, because I go into these homes and we do assessments for them, but the biggest theme that's been coming up during the course of these assessments is, why is the parent not confident in their ability to teach their own child? Why is it when the child needs help, the parent doesn't know how to best support them? Why is it that when the child is doing poorly in school, the parent doesn't know what resources to give or what direction to point the child in? So what we found is that a lot of these parents don't feel confident is because they don't know the material themselves. Why is it that they went through 12 years of school, they went to college, they got master's degrees, but yet when a child comes and they have this thing called new math in school, why isn't a parent able to learn how to be able to teach their child that information? A lot of it comes down to parents are not confident in their own ability to be able to learn new things. And so if they don't have that ability to learn new things, how could they trust themselves to be able to show their own child the ability to learn new things? I was talking to a family earlier this week, and the son is about 13 years old. They come from Trinidad, and so they're immigrants. In Trinidad, the education system is a bit different than what we're seeing here in the United States, but even despite that, same problems have been coming up for that family. The child is 13 years old and is in a special class because he isn't able to keep up with his classmates now that he's in 8th grade, about to go to high school, and he still doesn't have the ability to be able to sit down, focus on his work, and read and comprehend his passages. And because of that, he's also developed some anger issues, behavioral issues. I mean, it makes sense. If a child doesn't have the confidence in their own ability to read simple text, answer a question, how would they be able to be stable in their own emotions, understand where those emotions are coming from, and be able to navigate that? So because of that, there's a lot of disharmony in the home between parent and child when it comes to academics. And because many parents also have a high standard for their children because they went through the system, they seemingly have done well in their own lives. They also want that same for their child. But if the child isn't showing the results that they need to be at a certain level, then the parent starts to get discouraged. And because the parent gets discouraged, they also lose their ability to focus and really support their own child in whatever tasks come up. So it's a vicious cycle back and forth. If the parent doesn't know how to support the child doesn't know how to support themselves. And in the end, it's a lose-lose situation. Another family that we had seen a couple of months back, 9 years old, he's been, because of the No Child Left Behind program, they've just been pushing him up and up and up and up in grade levels, even though he obviously is not ready to handle on the new expectations of the new grade level. Again, because the mother is not able to comprehend his work, how could she ever be able to support him at home, right? How could she ever be able to take her own time and sit down and relearn the information that the child is learning and give that back to the child? So a lot of work needs to be done in the home because in school, there's 20, 30 kids per class. So even the teacher doesn't have enough time to spend with every student to make sure that they are getting the best support they need. And so that's why having support in home is so important. But again, if the parent can't properly support the child, then they're at a total loss. And where is the child going to get this support from? And that's the question that we have the answer to. With the way that we approach education, it's a scientific-based approach, and so it doesn't matter where the child is at in the current stage of learning. We have a step-by-step process, a system that will support the child to be able to start to learn how to teach themselves, but not only the child learning how to teach themselves, also support a parent to be able to learn the material alongside their child so that if any questions do come up, the parent is also able to support the child and they can have harmony within their discussion and harmony within their approach to learning at home. It can be difficult sometimes when I'm in these homes and the parents start to break down because they know that they've done the most that they can. They've tried what they can. For some people, it would be disheartening going into a home and seeing a parent break down, a mother start to cry because she's felt like she's done the most that she could as a mother from her perspective, but yet there's still struggle within her children and their grades, right? Their confidence, their ability to get their work done, right? Sometimes when we'll come over, it builds that anxiety of, oh, am I going to have to learn something now because Jude is here, because the tutors are here, right? And they just have that idea towards education. They have that feeling towards education of this is going to be hard. Homework time is always a struggle because the kid from their experience is thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to now fight with my parents. The parents don't want to get into it because from their past experience, from their history with their children, it's going to be yelling, it's going to be shouting, it's going to be screaming just to get something simple done like math homework before it's time to go to bed. And so because of this, some people might think that, hey, I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. It's disheartening in many cases, but we don't feel like that. We don't see that because we know we have the solution. We know we have the best way to support both a child and a parent to be able to correct that broken bridge towards their idea, towards their discussion on education, and really 180-degree shift their approach and their results in education, not just in school, but in after school and really for life. So the thing to ask yourself is, with the way the world is going right now, artificial intelligence, robotics, all coming to the forefront of the economy, if your children cannot even do their homework, how are they going to be able to survive in a world where AI is taking over all the opportunity? How is a child going to be able to feel confident in being able to learn about how AI works, be able to learn about how technology works, learn about how robotics work, if they can't even learn their spelling, if they can't learn their reading, their writing, their math? And a lot of these parents that we're speaking with, they're so afraid because they are seeing what's going to happen. They're seeing the position that the economy is in. They're seeing the world that their child is going to head in, and they understand that if you don't have a way to be able to guarantee or mitigate as much as possible the child's development, to guarantee or mitigate as much as possible a child's way of learning so that they can be confident and not have to have a stressful way to learn new things, then they're going to have less and less opportunities as the world moves on. Many parents are telling me that they're anxious, they're worried, they're afraid that their kid is either going to end up either without a job and or their kids are going to end up as the janitor or the cleaner, right? And have no real opportunities in their life. But even that, AI is going to take over those jobs. So for you as a parent listening to this, just really consider what will happen in the next few years, even tomorrow, if your child doesn't have the resources, if you as a parent don't empower your child with the resources to be able to have confidence, to have a stress-free learning environment. Let me tell you a story. There's children that we're working with right now that are 8 years old, and they're developing their own video game. They're developing their own apps. They are writing their own books, and some of them are even selling those books to their friends and their parents' friends. So at 6, 7, 8 years old, these kids are having no trouble coming up with new ideas, learning new things, and already making a place for themselves in the economy. On the other hand, there are children out there that we work with who started off not being able to finish even their spelling tests by themselves, not being able to study for the spelling tests by themselves, and because of that, they were getting 50%, 60% on their test. So imagine a child like that competing with a child like this who is already developing their own applications. So what we've done for these children who are still struggling in school is to support them step by step to get them on the level where they're able to build their foundation so that they are able to have the ability to do the same things as children that are already developing their own apps, all already writing their own programs, right? There's a family who have recently just moved to Florida that we're working with in community, who their child over a summer started off as one of those kids who was left behind, right? They could not do any homework on their own. They were working with a tutor every single day as well, and still were not able to do well in school, right? We stepped in at the end of the summer, working with them for a couple months, and even now that they've moved to Florida, this child is completely changed his feeling towards learning, because he knows now that whatever test he has is not going to be a problem. He has a specific way to study, a specific way to learn that we've empowered him with, and now he's going above and beyond in his new school, his new environment, so he can change environments and still be able to adapt and learn very quickly. So if you want to see what that might look like for yourself, your family, anybody that you might know, you can reach out to us in the link in the comments or send us a message, give us a call, and we would be happy to send somebody over to talk for just a little bit and see what it is that we could possibly do for you and your family. Again, this is Jude, Limitless Education Group. Looking forward to speaking to you again very soon. All the best.